Hey everyone, I'm Tassenix, and welcome to a mod guide highlight for Bo-Katan Mandalore, aka BKM. So, this is another patron request to cover this character because apparently there's quite a few folks that are just about now getting her kind of free to play. So, awesome. Let's dig right into it. First thing I wanted to cover is the team that she's on. So she's leading the team, all right? Other characters I might cover, they might be able to be the lead. They might be able to be on someone else's team. Nah, she is going to just go ahead and be a leader, all right? Let's dig right into her kit. As far as the basic goes, oh yeah, let me go ahead and flip on the music, guys. Hopefully that works. Let me check. Yes, looks like the music's working. Alright, so yeah, she deals physical and true damage to target enemy, can't be evaded, dispels all buffs on them. During her turn, all light side Mandalorian allies gain speed up. So when she's using this ability on her turn, not when she's called to assist. So that's Frontal Assault. Her next ability, Dark Saber Flourish. Deal physical damage to target enemy, inflict a stack of armor shred until the end of battle. Deal an additional instance of true damage to target enemy, which can't be evaded, and stun them for one turn. If BKM is debuffed, deal true damage an additional time to the target enemy, which can't be evaded. Otherwise, reduce the cooldown of this ability by 1. There's a lot of true damage in this kit, guys, just throughout her kit. So this ends up becoming crazy damage over the course of the fight. Like the second use, you know how Malicos is stacking offense and stuff like that? She's stacking true damage in a similar, kind of like exponential fashion. Like she really gains a lot of stacks very quickly if the team is set up to succeed. But just a reminder about true damage, it can't critically strike. It is increased by the amount of offense that you have on the character. And it cannot be mitigated by armor or resistance, but it can still be mitigated by like unique effects and stuff that say like damage received is reduced by 30%, stuff like that. That's about the only exception. So true damage is very powerful. All right, next let's talk about reinforcements have arrived. Deal physical damage to target enemy, dispel all debuffs from all light side Mandalorian allies, and call them to assist twice, dealing 50% less damage. And they all gain 3 stacks of the unique buff, Ancestral Resolve, which goes up to 100 stacks until the end of the encounter, can't be copied, dispelled, or prevented. And what is Ancestral Resolve? Characters who have it have plus 2% defense and plus 1% max health per stack, and whenever this character deals true damage, deal additional true damage based on the number of stacks, which can't be evaded. So you're thinking about characters who do true damage that are light side Mandalorians, that will be BKM, Paz Vizsla, and BAM, Beskar Armor Mando. Alright, while in Grand Arenas, light side Mandalorian allies gain an additional 2 stacks of Ancestral Resolve. So yeah, when it says you're gaining 1 stack, you're actually gaining 3. Alright, and if another light side Mandalorian ally wasn't able to assist, they instead gain a bonus turn. So what this Omicron specifically enables is if you have BAM on the team, he goes in a disciplined setup, and then she uses, this ability immediately after. You're getting everybody on the team except him to mass assist twice, which is pretty much guaranteed to get you up to 20 birds for BAM. And then because he wasn't able to assist, the specific language of this Omicron, he gets a bonus turn and immediately gets to pop off with those birds. So that's specifically what this Omicron's good for, if you were curious. All right, the leadership. Way of the Mandalore. Light side Mandalorian allies gain 40% defense, max health, and offense. Light side Mandalorian allies gain 5% defense stacking, maximum 30%, for each debuff on them. So this team just wants to be debuffed. Please do it. Whenever a light side Mandalorian ally deals true damage, dispels a debuff, or resists a debuff, which, this pretty much applies to everybody on this team. So whenever anybody on the team pretty much does anything, light side Mandalorian allies gain 1 stack of Ancestral Resolve, up to 100, Until the end of the encounter, can't be copied, dispelled, or prevented. Whenever an ally attacks an enemy inflicted with Armor Shred, all light side Mandalorian tank allies taunt for 1 turn, maximum 2 times per turn. And as a reminder, who does Armor Shred on this team? BKM herself. Armor could do it. Sabine could do it. I think that's about it. And additionally, in Grand Arenas, light side Mandalorian allies gain 50% mastery, max health, and plus 30 speed. At the start of each encounter, light side Mandalorian allies taunt. Light side Mandalorian tank allies taunt for 2 turns. So it's a pre-taunt for Paz Vizsla. This specifically is what enables Paz Vizsla to be there to take the smite from Cat. We'll cover more about that in a second. If there are other active enemies, excluding summons, the first light side Mandalorian ally that is defeated each battle is revived and recovers 50% health and protection. So yeah, like if you're taking this against a JMK Cat team, this team can take it on specifically because when Cat smites Paz Vizsla, who is pre-taunting, he's the first light side Mando to die on the team, so he gets revived. So the only thing that really stops that is that like a Galactic Republic no revive Datacron would be about the only thing that shuts down that matchup, right? All light side Mandalorian allies gain 1 additional stack of Ancestral Resolve whenever a light side Mandalorian ally deals true damage, dispels a debuff, or resists a debuff. For Mandalore, this is her unique. Whenever BKM gains tenacity up for 1 turn at the start of each encounter, which can't be dispelled or prevented. She gains plus 10 speed, stacking, for each stunned light side Mandalorian ally, and true damage she deals from Ancestral Resolve is tripled. This damage is then itself doubled against enemies with bonus protection. So think of the very many teams that gain protection, bonus protection, and yeah, you're just gonna, smack them into non-existence. If all light side allies were if all allies were light side Mandalorian at the start of battle, BKM takes reduced damage from percent health damage effects and recovers 50% health whenever an ally is defeated for the first time, excluding summoned allies. So, this specifically is really cool because this is what lets her take on Inquisitors. When you do your third ability, that is the Dispel on the team in the Mass Assist, the act of dispelling into a Reva team is you get Deathmark on her, and she takes reduced percent health damage, so it's not actually smiting her the way you would think it would, but it is forcing them to hit her. So if you do something like put Beskar armor on her 3 stacks, she's counterattacking that, just smacking the crap out of people. So that's kind of a cool synergy. Alright, she gains plus 50% defense, stacking max 200% for each debuff on her, and an additional 200% defense stacking for each other light side Mandalorian ally who has not yet been defeated. So this team wants to be debuffed. This team is, she specifically is stacking defense like crazy, right? And then with this Ancestral Resolve building, she's doing ever-increasing amounts of true damage. It's a nasty bit of business. While in Grand Arenas, she's additionally immune to Daze. If, that wasn't good enough, she will just eat up Lord Vader teams for this. If all allies were light side Mandalorian at the start of battle, BKM ignores taunt effects, and whenever an ally is defeated for the first time, she gains 20% of their max health and offense until the end of battle. So the ignore taunt can be pretty nice when, if you have it set up like I said, where Bam goes into discipline setup, and then she's able to use the Mass Assist ability, ignoring taunt and going right after your preferred, primary target. That's nice. That's pretty nice. This one isn't a must-have, but I'd say to have the most options for this team, like at least having the leadership and this special are pretty nice. The unique can be flexible. All right. Next, let's talk about comps just briefly because I got some feedback from the first video and I just wanted to cover a little bit about it. So yeah, in 3s, your core comp is going to be BKM Paz Grogu. No, this shouldn't come as too much of a surprise. You might be able to think of specific applications where you might want to shake this up, but those core 3 are crazy good together. That said, in 5s, you've got a couple options. So, yeah, BKM Paz Grogu with Bo-Katan, who I think is like a semi-mandatory fourth because her Zeta restores protection to the team, enables very high banner clears. Very nice to have. Sabine Wren has an AoE stagger that you can trigger through any number of other means on this team. An armor shred besides. She can be pretty threatening. We already covered why in this next comp you might want to have BAM, because being able to pop off a 20 stack of birds immediately after BKM goes is pretty powerful. But you should know which ones you want to use that against. You could use that to really take down, a bunch of things very quickly. I think that's probably the most powerful offensive orientation of the team for my money. And then last but never least, you could have armor in here. Now, I like armor to be available for C or Slacker a lot of the time. Maybe more for C in the upcoming season because we have First Order Crons coming back, and so there's a lot of power in having a pure First Order team. But nonetheless, armor is another mass assist. This offers more opportunity to stack Ancestral Resolve, an armor shred, which has synergy with BKM's abilities, stuff like that. Hopefully that helps. All right, let's talk about the mods themselves, what you're actually here to see. Let me bring this up on screen. I wanted to highlight... Oh, yeah, nice ad. All right, I wanted to highlight at least two ways to cover her. First, this is Fatals, and Fatals had this set up since the beginning. He doesn't make a particular emphasis on going with high offense primaries. He goes for survivability and speed. This with the speed arrow on is 310, so she's 310 speed in his spec, and very high survivability. She's gaining health, she's gaining defense over the course of the fight from Ancestral Resolve, and because he's probably got this entire team decently fast, with her being very fast, there's quite a bit of acceleration in how she stacks Ancestral Resolve, and remember, all damage she does from Ancestral Resolve, all true damage, is tripled herself, and then that amount is doubled against enemies who have bonus protection. So just crazy offense potential. So he only has about 9,500 offense, but you can see what he's going for. He's just trying to blaze by and stack Ancestral Resolve. So I wanted to highlight that. Myself, and a lot of other players do this too, so I won't say it's original, but this is what I kind of felt was the way to go in the beginning, and I've more or less kept this ever since. When I first modded her, she was about 13,000 offense, but I've needed to pinch and pull a couple mods recently. So she's down to 12,700, 291 speed, so within 20 of Fatals, but a lot more offense up front. And you can see all these offense primaries and, offense secondaries and stuff like that. So I made an emphasis for some speed, but you're really wanting a lot of both. And by having high offense up front, you do more damage up front. This allows you to potentially close out the fight sooner as opposed to relying on a fight accelerating enough turns to get those decently high stacks of Ancestral Resolve. I don't think there's, so I have more upfront power. He accelerates into the mid and late game power faster than I do. All right, and so I just wanted to highlight those two ways of doing it. Other than that, the last thing I wanted to highlight for you guys, another request, was applications. So I turned back time to what we were doing with BKM just before her Datacron came out. And so you might be able to do more, you might be able to do less going into this next meta where we're having Datacron set 14 and 15 active. But Lord Vader of most kinds, like if it's any kind of normal Lord Vader team that's using Empire characters and Maul, you're going to eat it up. If people are going to commit like Malicos and Inquisitors and stuff to it, you might struggle. But otherwise, I know you'll see in here people were beating JMK, not necessarily all the time, but here, yeah. So people were pulling this off against fairly normal JMK comps. So there may be some nuance depending on the available Datacron sets. But you're able to take out at least two of these main GLs. Of course, a lot of the easier to fight GLs like JML, something like that, Sith Eternal, you'd probably blow up fairly easily with this team in short order because of just how quickly you stack that offense. Or that true damage, rather. All right, so I think that about covers it. I don't want to go too deep into it because I don't want to limit your thinking. you know, you never know how these teams can operate as the Datacron sets roll by. But as far as application, I think this is only offense for me. I wouldn't put it on defense anymore. With her old Datacron, she got a bonus turn at the start of battle, so she and because of the other effects baked into that Datacron, she could start immediately killing characters, and that's no longer the case in the same way. And the AI, I wouldn't trust the AI to make the right decisions. You know what I'm saying? Maybe with Bam on the team on defense, maybe that's something worth trying. Like you have Bam modded to go ahead of BCAM, but that's you know, that's about it. So hopefully that helped you guys. Thank you for the feedback. I appreciate it. We've already gotten some, you know, very encouraging DMs, a couple comments, good stuff. Really appreciate it. Continue to leave me your feedback, and I'll try and improve this. Keep the videos about 15 minutes. But until next time, it's been real. It's been awesome. It's been real awesome. Take care.